AOC alienates 80% of voters with tone-deaf complaint about how hard her life is. Now the post is gone. I guess she figured out how people really think about the statement she made. But I mean, AOC, she's clueless. She lives in her bubble. She's ditzy. She don't know what she's talking about 90% of the time. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed, or hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. And there's also a link to my merch store, so check that stuff out. All right, let's talk about this news. A politician who makes more money than a little over 80% of Americans is singing the blues about how tough life has become. The comments came on the Instagram account of Democratic Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York, who makes $174,000 a year as a member of Congress, along with the perks of office. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I mean, she makes way more than me, and she's complaining about how hard it is. And I got a whole family here. Quote, "It's insanely expensive. There is no stipend or per diem for it, and you're not allowed to write it off even though your job forces you to have it," she said, according to BizPack Review. Quote, "This creates real class dynamics in the House. Many sleep in their offices, but if you're caught, it could get bad for many reasons," she said in a post that appeared to be deleted. Of course, she deleted it. I mean, she's just nuts. She said it was tough to rent in two expensive cities to meet the requirements that she has to have a residence in D.C., as well as one in her district, according to the Denver Gazette. So change your policies. Won't you get rid of that high-ass high ass taxes in New York and all that other stuff, and it wouldn't be so bad. But no, she don't. She believes in taxing the so-called rich, which in turn is a tax on the middle class. Well, quote, "I rent in both cities. It's so much." She said, "It's so much. We have to find a new apartment in New York City soon, and I'm stressed. Rent is wild, and the idea of apartment searching and moving while legislating and campaigning is yikes," she said. I mean, you voted for these policies. Well, your state, and the people you support, they're for these high taxes in New York City. So don't complain about it now. You created this. You are for this. You want to tax the people. But all of a sudden, now that you feeling it, now it's a problem. These people are hilarious. The complaints touched off a reaction. It's some funny tweets people tweeted back out. You'll see the tweets looping around. I'm not going to have it in any type of order because I don't really have time for editing today. But one of the tweets was by Brad Johnson, who said, "One fun insider game to play is watch how few pundits and political reporters and lobbyists give AOC and the squad credit for accurately predicting the BBB would be dead the moment the Biff was decoupled from it." And John and Jane Q Public said, "This you and your $175,000 a year salary." She rocked a dress rumored to cost $10,000 at an event where the ticket started at $30,000, according to the Associated Press. But she's complaining, though. She's complaining with a $10,000 dress on. Then someone called Shauna Nina said, "Life hard for everyone. Can't imagine how low-income people are managing. She's probably paying more than $80,000 in rent per year to live in decent neighborhoods in D.C. and NYC. AOC laments insane cost of being congresswoman despite $174,000 salary." So that's true. And then you got David Keefe said, "Makes sense of this. AOC makes $175,000 a year, yet she pays $24,000 a month to rent her place. Do the math. That would mean her whole salary will be burned up in little over 7 months just on rent. Math doesn't lie, people." Yeah, but she chose to live in a $24,000 a month house. I mean, that makes no sense whatsoever. It's what you buying. It's not that the money, you make it 170. A lot of people, I mean, you got families that don't even make that much, and she's complaining. The whining comes after Ocasio-Cortez told the Associated Press that she's very concerned she's not be perceived as out of touch. Well, you are out of touch. Quote, it's always a concern that that's a perception. I've never had any control over the fact that kind of phenomenon started the moment I was elected. She said, if anything, that's why it's really important for me to continue to be here in the community. As noted by the Washington Examiner, congressional salaries are indexed to the cost of living, but Congress has rejected all raises since 2010. Last year, she said she received a living wage in a statement calling for raises for House staff members. Quote, it is unjust for Congress to budget a living wage for ourselves, yet rely on unpaid interns and underpaid, overlooked staff just because some conservatives want to make a statement about fiscal responsibility, she said in a statement on her website. But the thing is, they give you a allotted amount of money to pay your people. So it's not that you pay the people with the allotted money that you have. I mean, I don't understand what she's talking about. If you got people working for you that's underpaid, that's because you are underpaying them. Quote, the lack of diversity on the Hill can be traced directly to our failure to pay staff a living wage. Low pay also contributes to the undue influence of money in politics, with experienced Hill staffers frequently leaving to work for lobbyists and other special interests. The investment will create a stronger Congress and a better policy for the country, she says. According to the website, Statista, only 18.3% of Americans make more than $150,000 a year. Only 18%. A tweet asking for a response from the office of Ocasio-Cortez had not been received. Of course, she's not going to reply to the Western Journal about this, but it's crazy. She's tone deaf. She has no clue. Most Americans wish they could be making $174,000 and would take that money with no complaints. But she making that money and complaining, and she really doesn't do anything anyway. You can't name one positive bill that she put forth. You know what's going on with all the crazy stuff in New York with all the shootings and all that stuff. People in her district is struggling, and she's complaining about making $174,000 a year. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out democrapublics.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.